What's up, sisters? It's your boy, Beef, and welcome back to the channel for another week of insane new mods for Baldur's Gate 3. This week, we've got a wild mix of new mods, including a ton of new classes, some weapons, fashion, and even the goddamn Tarrasque. We have got a lot to cover today, so let's go ahead and get straight into it. Have you ever felt like Baldur's Gate 3 and Dungeons & Dragons in general is a little bit lacking when it comes to the thunder abilities? Well, the new Thundercaller by Lyrkos is a brand new class that lets you control the battlefield with crackling lightning and booming thunder. This class features 4 distinct thunder-based subclasses for you to play as. The Amplifier is a magic-focused spellcasting subclass. The Echo Eidolon is a throwing weapon specialist, which does multi-target damage. The Sonic Controller is a battlefield master who can buff allies and debuff your enemies, while the Thunderer is a close-quarters melee striker. Even better, the mod features 19 new spells for you to truly bring the boom. The main gimmick of this class is the Echoing Thunder feature. When the wearer deals thunder damage, inflict 1 turns of reverberation upon the target. So because we're always dealing thunder damage, we're going to be dealing a lot of reverberation, which is a very powerful spell effect. Next up, we have a mod for all of you Naruto fans out there. Ninja with Subclasses by Mods by Missy allows you to choose one of 3 Leaf Village clans: the Hyuga, the Uchiha, and the Uzumaki. The Hyuga clan subclass focuses on healing and support abilities with the Disciple of Life, while the Uchiha is more of a spellcasting rogue who can alter people's minds and use fire spells, and the Uzumaki are built around the Ranger rogue playstyle with summons and thunder/air-based spells. This is really cool for any of you who just want to go ahead and give a shot at playing some of your favorite Naruto characters that are of the Hyuga, Uchiha, or Uzumaki bloodlines. So, although we have a lot of new classes to look at this week, I want to take a quick break from those to square off against a monster that will truly fuck shit up. The Tarrasque is here, and it's as terrifying as you expect. Created by Eloball, this mod adds the Tarrasque as a legendary monster you can summon via a scroll. The mod uses the character model for the Slayer form, but cranks it up to 100 by making it insanely large, making it a level 30 monster, and giving it a pool of over 676 health. Be careful, because the Tarrasque is not your friend. It will try to kill you, and it will probably succeed, so summon it at your very own risk. Let's see what happens if I end my turn. What's it going to do to me? Oh, it swallowed me? I'm swallowed. I literally can't do anything. I'm just swallowed. I just unleashed the Tarrasque on Baldur's Gate. What's it going to do now? Next on the list, we have the Mechanist Class by Terry Barrier and Shadow of Radiance. This mod was created for the Mod Jam 2025 event and brings you one step closer to becoming a full-on cyborg in the world of Baldur's Gate 3. The class features different stances, which you can use Machination's Change Stance to switch between them and allow you to reflect your robotic speciality and playstyle of choice. What's even cooler, you have a laser. The class features access to 2 subclasses, the Force-bound and Lightning-bound. The Force-bound will give you a Shrink Ray, as well as a Push Ray, and also a Pole Ray, using your clockwork points. The Lightning Bound has access to Electric Blood, which gives you lightning charges, including Machination's Fulmination, a new stance that does additional lightning damage, and the Lightning Ray, which does also exactly what it sounds like. The class uses its clockwork points in order to fuel its abilities, and just as an example, let's go ahead and use our Mechanist Laser here on Halson. Oh dear! Now, if you want something a little bit more tempting, we have the new Succubus Class by Eclipse. With this class, you can charm, seduce, and dominate your enemies before siphoning their souls to increase your own power. This class is compatible up to level 20, but doesn't add anything new beyond level 12. Using your Hellfire Embrace ability, you can engulf your enemies in flames, dealing fire and psychic damage, charming your foes to build up your lustful stacks. When you eventually reach 5 stacks, you'll transform into your succubus form to deal bonus damage and gain the ability to fly. Next up, we have Divine Right, a sorcerer subclass by the Wailing Bard. Similar in flavor to the Divine Soul Sorcerer from 5th edition, this subclass asks the question, what if the gods chose me to rule? This subclass is compatible up to level 20 and features a cool list of inherent spells, including access to Command, Heroism, Crown of Madness, Spirit Guardians, Confusion, Guardian of Faith, Dominate Person, and Conjure Elemental. With this subclass, you can truly exude authority over your enemies with insane battlefield control. Our next subclass, the Sneaky College of Whispers Bard by Junior Cowl, adds a sinister twist to your performances. Instead of inspiring your allies, you manipulate enemies with dark secrets and psychic torment. It's perfect for a villain arc. You'll learn Psychic Blades, an ability which lets you spend your inspiration die to deal additional psychic damage with your weapon attacks, and Words of Terror, which allows you to choose 3 enemies to instill fear in them. And at level 6, you'll learn Extra Attack. I actually already have a build guide which features this subclass, using a Kenku race to mimic the voices of our fallen enemies to terrorize and then fracture their friends using the voices of their fallen comrades, which I will have linked above and below. The next class on our list is called the Ancient Smith by Zyvar. As a master enchanter, you'll forge magical rings that grant the wearer unimaginable power. This class features 3 subclasses, allowing you to decide whether you want to specialize in rings that grant melee bonuses through the Ring of Force, giving you Rings Push and Second Wind. You can go for healing bonuses with the Ring of Light, which gives you access to a whole bunch of different healing spells. Or magic enhancements through the Ring of Magic, which gives you access to Arcane Recovery, Rings Ray, and a whole bunch of other really cool magical abilities, all through the ring that you've built. That's more or less the last of our new classes and subclasses for this week, so let's get into some other more silly mods. Okay, so I know I said these were silly, but the first one isn't actually that silly. It's pretty cool. Weapons by Granny, Made with Love by SEM adds in 18 new custom weapons, each with their own really cool themes and unique abilities. You have the Echo Butcher of the Wicked, which has fire damage, and the Witchbreaker ability. You gain advantage on attack rolls against concentrating creatures. Scourge of Pests, deal additional 1d6 fire damage to plants, insects, or small creatures. No Burn, you have resistance to fire damage and cannot be burned. You have Lava Burst, and the Riposte skill built straight into the weapon. Prometheus Blessings deals an additional 1d4 piercing damage to burning targets, possibly inflict burning when hitting a creature with this weapon while hiding or invisible. It has Arrow of Fire built straight into it, and grants resistance to fire damage. We also have things here like Nature's Staff, which does force damage and thunder damage, chance to ensnare target if it is not a plant or a beast. Druidic Vines cannot ensnare you and do not count as difficult terrain. It comes pre-built in with extra attack, that way if you're playing as a druid, you can then hit people twice even though you don't actually have it. You also get access to Wall of Thorns, Conjure Minor Elemental, Riposte, and resistance to poison damage. We have some other really cool weapons in here, like the Scourge of the Paladin, which is really great for Minthara. It does necrotic damage, silences targets on hit, and has a bunch of really cool abilities. Attack rolls with this weapon have advantage against undead. You have Elemental Weapon, Turn Undead, and Riposte built straight into it. One of the coolest items in here is Nature's Flame Blade, which would be really insanely cool for a Wildfire Druid. You get innate access to Conjure Elemental, Fire Elemental, extra attack, and the wielder of this weapon is resistant to falling damage. You have Firebolt and Riposte built straight into the weapon. The Spirit of Bernard is a spear that does a bunch of lightning abilities. The Lost Flail of Talos is obviously built off of Talos and has a whole bunch of different lightning abilities attached to it and is built around lightning charges. So the Weapons by Granny here is just a really cool set that has access to a bunch of really cool weapons for you to use on your characters. So our next 2 mods are definitely pretty silly. We have Koop's Breakables by Koopu, which will add Koop's Ring into your game. What exactly does Koop's Ring do, though? Well, it gives you access to breakable items, a spell which allows you to summon any of several different breakable items for you to throw at your enemies as improvised weapons. No longer do you have to find a table, vase, loot, or chair. Now you can just summon a chair in yourself and throw it straight at your enemies or your friends. I'm not judging. Finally, we have the most important mod on this list, the Bonk Pan by Rudy19. That's right, you can now wield a frying pan as a legendary weapon. Bonk your enemies into submission. That's it. That's the mod. 10 out of 10, no notes. On a more serious note, we have Lathander's Blessings. Once per long rest, when your hit points are reduced to 0, you regain 2d12 hit points, and allies within 9 meters will also regain 1d6 hit points. It's pretty much a reskin of the Blood of Lathander mace, which is one of the best weapons in the game, so this is really great because you don't have to sacrifice having a powerful weapon, but now we just have access to a frying pan so that we can go ahead and bonk our enemies whenever we want. You want to get hit too? Yeah, you better stay away. But that's all for this week's mod showcase. Let me know in the comments which one you're most excited to try, and if there's a mod that I need to cover next time. Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one. Stay beefy, sisters!